Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be doing a flight test for the HolyBro Shuriken X1, and I'll be doing a line of sight flight, which will be first here, and then we'll be doing an FPV flight, and they will both be 100% stock, off the stock settings in beta flight there. I haven't changed anything because I want to see how it flies out of the box, and then how good I can make it fly with settings that I would change. But I was going to do this earlier, however, I was having, as soon as I take off, I would have these yaw jitters, and then I thought, I don't know, so I tried to soft mount the board. I put these little pieces of insulation, little rubber rings in there. See, all the way, it was a pain in the butt to put all of them in there. There's 12 different points. I'd take the whole thing apart, but I did that, and it made it a little bit better, I think, but not really great. So now I put underneath the motors, I don't know if you can see it here, those little red things are TPU printed little feet for the motors, so hopefully that'll help, you know, reduce vibrations from there. I just printed those out. I designed them real quick, so we'll see if that makes any difference. I found it best to do your battery like this through your strap, or else it won't stay put. Let's just set it here. Alright. I don't have the accelerometer on, so let's just... Okay, so I can kind of... It's definitely better. Let me get out here first into the sun. It's definitely better. Hopefully you can see that. It's better, but it's still there. I'm not sure why, because I've heard other people with this quad, and it flies perfectly fine right out of the box. But I've also heard people having the same yaw twitch as me. So it looks like soft mounting the motors and the flight controller helped a little bit. So this is fully stock here. Interestingly enough, here are the rates. This is the yaw rate. You can see they chose quite a fast yaw rate. Whoa! Let me fix the camera there. So they chose quite a fast yaw rate, and then here are the roll and pitch rates. So not very fast, but I feel like that's a pretty good beginner rate actually. So let's do a full punch out here. Get back just a little bit so I can get more on the camera. Hopefully you can tell these T-Motor F40 V2s, 2305, 2600 kV. They really book it. And this is a Turnigy Graphene 4S battery. The rates definitely are different than what I'm used to. You can see these ESCs. They have a pretty low min throttle value. You get some pretty good hang time here stock. The really high thrust definitely complements that. But yeah, I'd say it's flying very nicely stock here. Very fast, probably one of my fastest, if not my fastest quads. Just because these motors are just absolute beasts. A little bit of wind out right there. So hopefully you can see. I'll go hands off the stick. It definitely happens, it definitely seems to happen, the yaw twitch I was talking about, at lower throttle values. Every time I punch it, I don't really notice it. Yeah, the rates are pretty low, but they work all right. All right, the onboard buzzer's talking to me. Let's see my timer. Oh yeah, I've been going for 3 minutes. Let's land this guy here. And it is cold out. It's about 40 degrees here. So there we go. That was it for the line of sight. My motors are absolutely cold, but once again, it's snow on the ground, so it's not really a fair test. But yeah, the motor mounts, the soft mounts, the TPU that I printed, definitely, and the soft mounted flight controller helped my issue. Didn't completely solve it, but I think I'm happy enough with it there. I might try and tune my notch filters in beta flight to see if I can fully rid it then. But yeah, that flew pretty well, so now let's move on to the FPV flight, and I'll give you my impressions, how it flies stock, and then we'll finish up. Okay, here we are. As you can see, I've got the GoPro Session 5 on board, and if you notice that red on either side of the screen, that's actually the mount they give you, so you might have to trim that back a little, as well as that black thing is the antenna. So let's take off here. You can see this is fully on stock settings. I was just testing it out to get a feel. You can see it's flying well, but when I punch the throttle here, you see how much it's dipping. That's because of the 80% TPA, and then watch this. Yeah, first flight. I had that happen, and let me show you the DVR here. Alright, here's the exact same footage, but through the DVR that I recorded, and it does have an OSD on the bottom that shows you volts and amps, but for some reason my DVR cut it off, and I did a firmware update, but it's still cut it off, so it's really disappointing. But if you check here, as we do the flip, it drops the back left arm, and there I disarmed. That's why that menu came up. So we didn't lose power, so nothing's loose. So I think I might have had a desync. So for the next test, I raised the min throttle. Alright, here we are back again the next day, and you can see the session mount is still in view, and I did trim it a little bit, but I guess I didn't get enough, but I got the antenna out of the way. So you can see the snow has melted for today, unfortunately. So I'm just feeling around here. The PIDs, especially on the roll there, felt super sloppy, as well as the pitch. You can see just how smooth it is. It's not sharp at all. And when I punch it, you can see the rates are pretty slow as well. But it is moving around very fast. I was surprised at how easy it was to go fast, because I was running at about the session at 45 degrees and the FPV camera at 50 degree tilt. And here I'm doing the punch-outs again, trying to stay lower in case we have the drop again from the back left arm. But I raised the min throttle from whatever it was, I raised it by 10 more points, and it seemed to fix the issue. You can see here I'm just going around, just feeling it out, and it's flying. Here's full speed right there. It definitely is very fast, but you can see it was still shaking a little bit, so it definitely needs a tune. I don't like the tune that they have on it at all. I mean, it flies okay, like if you're going really soft and smooth, but once you do anything hard with it just, you can definitely tell it wasn't tuned very well. So here, once again, just feeling out, that was actually because of the camera, the 2.5mm lens, I felt had some distortion, so I was just looking at that, and it does have a little, but definitely not too much. I was actually, if we take a look at the DVR here pretty soon, I was actually quite impressed with how it handled the light and just the colors. It's a pretty good camera here. So here I'm just going out the DVR footage here just to show you guys the amount of breakup that we get off the video transmitter and the antenna. I think it was perfectly acceptable in some of the hard situations here. I go behind trees and stuff, a little farther out. You can see just once again, we're cruising right along. It goes pretty fast, this quad. You can see out behind the house here to get the breakup. It's about normal what I get with other stuff, my other setups. I just go out down the road here, and I think the video is perfectly acceptable. You can see we're getting a little bit of shake on the footage here, but nothing too bad, but I definitely will be needing to retune this. And the rates are just so low compared to what I'm used to. I don't really know what to do. I'm just kind of going around here. And it also, because it's so loose, it just didn't feel right to do many of the maneuvers that you normally do. So over here, I'm just testing out the FPV camera, looking up and down at the sun directly, and then back to the ground, so it should be a little darker environment, trying to test the wide dynamic range, and I was very impressed. It did very well here. So just going through here. It flies okay, but once again, it's just the PIDs feel so loose, it's just hard to really get it to track in a line you want in a tighter situation. Here I'm just looking at the prop wash. Coming for a landing. So I think once again, it flew pretty well, and if you had never flown anything before, I think it would do quite well for you, but if you're a more experienced pilot, I wouldn't really think it's very good. And here you can see the menu it brings up. You can see I pulled 65 amps, but yeah, that was the end of the video. Once again, flies alright, but there's definitely a lot of work to be done, I think, to improve this. So stay tuned for the PID tuning tutorial that'll be coming soon. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll leave a link down below to check it out from GearBest. It's about $260, and for that, for a ready-to-fly quad, well, minus your transmitter, bind and fly with these motors and everything, I think this is a very good deal. So please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.